presented by Perrier. Just to the west of Paris, Stade Roland-Garros, where it's a day of roses to celebrate the 100th Women's French Championship. So grab a program. We've got your seat for Court Central to see if Martina Hingis can continue her unbeaten 1997 with another Grand Slam title. And what a day in Paris. Over 16,000 filing into Court Central to see the #1 player in the world, Martina Hingis, challenged by the #9 seed, Eva Majoli. Bonjour, everyone. Dick Enberg along with the all-time champion of France 7 times. She's held the trophy here for this Grand Slam title, Chris Evert. And everyone here eager to see the young Swiss Miss, Martina Hingis. Can she win her 2nd Grand Slam of this 1997, already winning the Australian? And what credentials? This is someone you call up and ask if she'll babysit for you. And no, she says, I'm busy. I'm #1 player in the world. I've won $1 million sooner than anyone. I've got a Grand Slam singles title, the youngest this century, and she's the youngest to win any Grand Slam title with her doubles win at Wimbledon last year. What is next?
Well, she's so impressive, but I think let's take a look at some of her assets. I think balance is the #1. I mean, watch the way she hits the ball. Her upper body is completely still, completely erect. She gets all her power from her legs. Keeps her eye on the ball. Potent two-handed backhand. Well, when you least expect it, serve and volley. She's unpredictable. She's versatile, and she's showing her variety here. Serve and volley on red clay. Look at her power. That's a quick wrist snap on the overhead. But if she does have a weakness, it's the powder puff second serve. And here, Monica Seles just nailed this serve for a winner, and that's what Eva must do in this match.
Well, Majoli's going for her place in history as well. No Croatian has ever won a Grand Slam title, and as a #9 seed, she is indeed a long shot. No one that distant from #1 has been able to win a Grand Slam in the open air, and you can see she's 3-1 wins over losses, and she's solid on clay.
Well, she's so excited to be in the final, but she has to come out here, you know, really hitting with the big guns, and the forehand, the backhand. She loves to run around that backhand and hit inside-out forehands. That's really her big weapon.
There's a case in point, and she'll have to use that often today.
And good defensive player. I mean, she runs down every ball, very much like Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. She's very feisty, never gives up. Here she's getting really moved from side to side, but very good defensive player.
But it's interesting, you feel that the 16-year-old has stronger nerve and greater confidence and will than the 19-year-old.
Well, I think Eva will be overawed with the occasion, being in her 1st Grand Slam final. Martina, this is becoming routine for her.
Well, more on Martina Hingis. We saw her arrive here at Court Central about an hour and a half ago with her mother, Melanie, ever-present mother. They have a very good relationship. She just kind of got a feel of the scenery and a little warm-up prior to her championship match today. Well, with Bud Collins on board, he indeed can take the unique look at this woman and her relationship with tennis and her mother.
This knockout kid is right up Muhammad Ali's alley. A child prodigy as he was. She's the tot with SWAT. The Heidi of the half volley. Her game really began to develop in her new home, Switzerland. Walking and swinging a racket came about almost simultaneously.
I was so little, my racket was bigger than I was. And with 3, I remember that we were playing over the net already, and I could hit the ball like 15 times over the net, and that was pretty good for a girl at my age. And before I had my first tournament, I always spend the most of the time on the court with my mother.
Mother and daughter, coach and pupil. They strung along together through the difficult days in communist Czechoslovakia and into the freedom of Switzerland with one goal in mind, to be #1 in the world.
She's been also like a professional tennis player in Czech Republic only because she couldn't get out of the country, and so as soon I was born, so she stopped her own career and started to play with me.
This parent-child relationship is unique because the two of them are best friends as well. In Melbourne in January, when Martina won her first major title, the celebration began with Mom making a splash as well. Oof.
I was running to kiss her, just go there and give her a big hug, and she just jumped and fell, and everyone was talking about it, but I don't think that was that high.
Well, it scared me, I'll tell you that. I thought poor Melanie is going to break a leg at least.
Oh, you can't get my mom under just so easily. I hope as long as I'm going to play tennis,
you do.
She's always going to be with me there, and she's always been there for me, so I don't think I could play without her.
You can't hold down these two. The #1 singles player in the world and her mom are right now the best doubles team in the game.
And here they come. The finalists take the court. Big moment for each. Eva Majoli, the underdog, the favorite #1, Martina Hingis in this 100th anniversary, each trying to write their name in the history of this great Grand Slam event. Quiet, please. Welcome back to the terre battue of Roland Garros. Hingis and Majoli begin their warm-up. Chance for us to introduce each and their record. Hingis, from the east of Switzerland now, Trubak, born in Czechoslovakia, as most all of you know, named after the famed Czech player Martina Navratilova. And like Navratilova, her mother escaped that country to find her tennis life elsewhere. She is very rich as a 16-year-old and far and away leads all of the women on that list this year. And here's how she got to the final.
An easy first round, but that second round was a pivotal one. I mean, look, she was down 6-3, point for 5-3. Just Pete Zucchini had a chance, double faulted. Third round, Kornikova. Paula, 6-love, she lost in the second set. Many thought she tanked that second set. Sanchez Vicario, she defeated. That was the best match she played the whole tournament. And then Monica Seles, what a cliffhanger that was.
So Hingis has had some rough spots on her way to the final, showing that she is indeed human, although unbeaten for the year. Eva Majoli, 3 years older, trying to become the first Croat to win a Grand Slam event. She's taller and older and ranked 9th, and that would be a long shot to win this championship. No #9 or higher has ever won that.
Well, she's also had a very tough time. 4 3-set matches. That third round, American Annie Grossman, that started it out. Davenport, Lindsay Davenport, the American player, again, was up 7-5, 4-love, and she just let it go. Dragomir in the quarterfinals, and of course, Speedy Gonzalez, Amanda Kutzer, a really tough match, 3-set match in the semi.
Head-to-head, they've met 3 times previously, and interestingly, here this year, indoors in Paris, where Hingis defeated Majoli rather easily 6-1, 6-3. Well, the emphasis on youth in Paris as we call on Bud Collins.
Bonjour, mes amis. The most popular French entertainer of all time was Maurice Chevalier. Do you remember in Gigi him singing, "Thank heavens for little girls"? Well, he would love this final. This is as young as it gets. And with Martina Hingis, Sweet 16, she joined some of the great 16-year-olds of the past, like Maureen Connolly winning the U.S. in 1951, Tracy Austin winning the U.S. in 1979, Monica Seles winning this title at 16 7 years ago, and how about Chris Evert, that sensational run to the U.S. Open semifinal in 1971. So, like Chevalier, I say, Dick, thank heavens for these little girls.
All right, Bud. And though Hingis will be 16 years plus, she won't be the youngest French champion if she wins. Seles will hold that honor at 16 and a half. And we'll be back for this women's final, the 100th anniversary, in a moment. And we already have one interesting development. Majoli won the toss and elected to receive. So Hingis will serve to open this championship match.
Very good choice for Eva, because she's going to really go right at it. Go right at that second serve. If Hingis has a weakness, it is that second serve. It's powder puff.
Good exchange, won by Majoli. Love 30.
Important to get off to a good start. Eva Majoli, as she comes into the net, she's not a natural volleyer. This is not a natural stroke for her, but she's taking the initiative right from the start.
Caught the line. Not that time. 15-30.
From behind the baseline, a very low percentage shot, but she has such great feel for the ball. Martina Hingis behind the baseline here. Majoli is a good mover, but nothing special. It's a good play.
A good forehand reply of the serve of Hingis by Majoli to earn a break point. That serve caught the service line and skidded on Majoli.
Martina Hingis, not known as a quick starter. She almost plays as hard as she has to in the beginning. You know, she assesses the situation, and she looks to see the weaknesses, the strengths. She almost plays as hard as she has to.
We're underway for the French Championship in sunny Paris.
Hey, Max. Why just sit around when you could have...
Hingis at 16, she won the junior championship here at age 12, the youngest ever to do that. And this is what she's done since her 16th birthday. Losing only 3 of 59 matches. She's won 8 singles titles and the Grand Slam to start this year in Australia. And there's the driving force, Melanie Molitor, her mother and coach, and a good friend.
Good friend, very low key, stays in the background, lets Martina have all the attention. Really devoted her life to Martina.
Hingis had thoughts of coming to the net and retreated. 15-love. Melanie Molitor was a contemporary of Martina Navratilova, a tennis player in her youth in Czechoslovakia, and that was her favorite player, and thus named her daughter after the famed tennis star Navratilova. 15 all.
Always idolized Martina, but funny enough, Hingis's game really is not very much like Navratilova. It's sort of a combination of a lot of players.
Now, you're being modest. Many compare her first to your game, thoughtful and such pinpoint accuracy, and so stable mentally and emotionally.
with more weapons. I think it's a good assessment.
Well, for Majoli, who, if anyone has the jitters today, I figure that she's the one. She seems more prone to emotions. Needs not to lose her first service game. Caught the line.
Oof. Well, Dick, I don't think people realize how tough it is to come out here and play your first Grand Slam title. I mean, very few players have actually won when they've been in the finals for the first time. My first time I played Margaret Court in the finals, was up 5-3 in the third, choked the match away because of nerves, because of the occasion.
All of a sudden, you're looking at the red clay and saying, this isn't Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to win a Grand Slam. A point for 1-all for Majoli.
I think game-wise, there's no comparison between the two players. I mean, Martina has more shots, more variety, more weapons, but her biggest danger really is to become overconfident and walking out on the score thinking that she already has the title because she's not playing a top seed.
It's 1-all. Iva Majoli from Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. There's Nick Bollettieri, lower left. Migrated to the U.S. where she trained since age 12 at the Bollettieri Academy.
Drago, her brother, her father Stanko's not here, but Drago and Stanko are actually her coaches. She gets a lot of good advice from Nick, but she owes a lot and gives a lot of credit to Drago. And really, to win this match, she has to go for those shots, but she has to make them. She has to really play above her head a little bit, play more aggressively, take more chances. And if the balls are falling in, she has a good shot at it. But if they're not, she doesn't have a chance at all.
Hingis strikes the ball so well on the move. There it is. Second best start ever for a woman. Graf opened up 45-0 a few years ago, 6 titles, including the Grand Slam in Melbourne.
I think her rise really started last summer. U.S. Open, she reached the semifinals. Then she reached the finals of the Chase Manhattan Championships, which is the year-end. Went, if you remember, 5 sets with Steffi Graf. Won the Australian, won all these tournaments.
And this is her first competition since the horseback injury that required arthroscopic surgery on that left knee. So she's played herself back into shape in this Grand Slam.
I also think playing doubles. You know, she reached the semifinals with doubles, lost with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, a real tight match, 11-9 the third. There you see the knee. Hasn't bothered her at all this tournament. She's taking care of it. She's icing it. She's getting ultrasound. She's taking good care of it before and after the matches.
Game to Hingis. They're on serve 2-1. Opening set for the 1997 French Open Championship.
Nike presents From the Baseline.
Jackie Robinson, great baseball player. I saw him steal home once, and I love these celebrations of his 50th anniversary of hurdling the baseball color line. But we should not forget there was a color line in tennis, too. And the pioneer there who snapped it was Althea Gibson in 1950. 6 years later, she came to Paris to win the French, the first black to take a major title. She's been ill, but I've talked to her. She's coming along well and hopes to be at the U.S. Open, and we all hope to see you there, Althea. Well, I'm eating crow, but at least the French do it well. Crow bourguignon. Why? Last weekend, I told you Steffi Graf was #1 no matter what. She's been beaten. But last year, Steffi Graf looked as bad in the Italian Open. She lost all confidence. She bounced back to win the French and Wimbledon. 1991, she was murdered by Arantxa Sanchez Vicario here at Roland Garros. Again, confidence gone. She found it and won Wimbledon. So don't sell your Steffi Graf stocks yet. I'm not.
Devouring all the competition.
She really has a zest for life. I've never seen a #1 player enjoy being #1 and what goes along with it more than Martina Hingis.
Yeah, her attitude belies the years.
One of the characteristics of Martina Hingis is cockiness. And this week, after her match with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, somebody asked her how she played, and she goes, "Oh, I played so well I could have beaten her with left-handed." And things like, and she's in the press conference, she says, I should dictate my schedule because I'm #1 in the world.
Oh, there is a foot fault call, and that's the first we've seen, men or women or doubles, the entire championship, and it comes in the finals. That's just as overlooked here at the Terre Battue until now. And it creates a double fault.
That threw her timing off. This is her weak point, really, her serve. You know, when she loses a little confidence, her head comes down and her elbow comes down, and she really doesn't go up for the ball and get her body into it.
Well, there's no question she foot faulted, but for the history of this 2 weeks, for it to come in the first set of the women's final seems a bit cruel. Ooh, she doesn't miss many of those. That was for a double break point.
But this is still where she's great because she's looking ahead 2 shots. Her goal is to come into the net and end the point, and she's trying to figure out a way to do it. That's called court sense, and she has it better than anyone. The only chance that even Majoli has is to dictate the point and to be the aggressor. She does not want to be on the defensive with Martina Hingis.
That's that inside-out forehand that opened the court that you talked about.
But she's deadly on both sides, you know, which is intimidating. That's why I think we're going to see a few drop shots. I think Martina Hingis is going to try to bring her up to the net. It's very uncomfortable for her up there.
Well, she survived that double fault and holds at 2-all. We talked about the youngest, and now the fastest to start a season. Steffi Graf ripping through 45 straight matches in 1987. That was a year before her Grand Slam year. And Hingis now second best. Martina, Chris Evert, and the others fall behind.
The only blemish I see to Martina Hingis' record is that she hasn't beaten and she hasn't played Steffi Graf since her streak. And if you call that a blemish, you know, Steffi still, whether you like her or not, was the reigning #1 player before Martina. And I think her chief competitor.
And because of the injury to Graf, that opened it up for Hingis to take that #1 spot.
Slip in there.
Oh, love 30.
Martina Hingis on the defensive. Can Majoli keep this up, though? Dictate the points. It's a very hard task.
Oh!
If she hits shots like that, she can do it.
And with that big forehand, 3 break points.
Oh, that was the first serve.
One of them erased.
good player against a player who opens up the court on that side, because Eva really likes to run around that backhand. She leaves that forehand side open.
Oh, what a series of backhands from the #1 player in the world.
Well, Martina had Eva on a string this whole point. Martina isn't even moving a step. She's right in the middle of the court the whole time.
Still a chance to break for Majoli. Illustrated Hingis' ability to defend the court.
Also, Eva's reluctance to come to the net. She could have ended that point 3 times, I counted, in that rally. She was in the midcourt, had Martina Hingis on the defensive, and just didn't want to come in. Just doesn't have that confidence.
So she's dug out of love 40 to deuce. Luck of the net cord, and the 4th break point for Eva Majoli.
And she has to try to end the point right there in that second serve. Don't get into a rally. Just go for the winner, whether it's down the line or cross court.
Four chances gone. Took a little off. Majoli changed the pace of that point, and it worked. And a 5th break point.
Martina really not taking this match as seriously as I thought she would. That's the one danger, is really complacence, because she's had such big wins, big matches. Anya Kournikova, Monica Seles. I think she'll be doing this more often. I think we're going to see the drop shot, and we're going to be seeing Martina Hingis coming into the net. Those 2 factors.
It's wide. Hingis didn't think so, and so umpire Perot will come out to examine the call and concurs. Break point Majoli.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 6 in this game for the 19-year-old Majoli.
But, you know, when she's down, she takes her game to a higher level. We've seen this so much this tournament. When we've thought she's been down and out, and she comes up with these big shots. That's confidence. It's really getting mad at herself, too. I think she plays better.
It's all the qualities emotionally you wouldn't expect from someone so young.
But you see it in champions. Steffi Graf is a big example of that. When she gets angry, she plays better.
Oh, it's been a struggle. 6 break points against her serve. Finally, a game point for Hingis.
I just sense that if Hingis wins this game, after all those being down those break points, she's going to run away with this first set. So Eva really has to try to scrap her way out, not make errors, but still be aggressive.
fifth deuce of the game. And a second serve for Majoli.
Oh.
And this time net cord goes to Hingis. Oh, Hingis denies 6 breakers. It's 3-2 on serve in the opening set.
If you haven't seen Mad About You every week, then Tuesday, it's new to you.
Martina Hingis holding her serve despite 6 break points, and while she recognizes her opponent's talent before this match, she obviously showed confidence of a win today.
I played her a couple times also on clay court, and I mean, I have a pretty good chance against her. I beat her like 2 or 3 times already, and she's just a great player, and we know each other so well because we are both pretty young and we're making the finals, so that's already great.
She must have been referring to the junior days beating Majoli on clay, because their 3 matches as professionals have all come indoors on the carpet. Hingis winning 2 and losing their first meeting a couple years ago.
Well, she's come up with some cocky statements, as I was alluding to earlier, and I haven't talked to her all year, Dick, so I wanted a chance to talk to her to see for myself what kind of person this young girl was. The first thing she does when I see her is, "Can I see a picture of your boys?" Whipped out the pictures and said to me, "This is really what it's all about, isn't it?" And I was just astounded. I thought it's a pretty mature statement coming from a 16-year-old, and I walked away after this conversation thinking she was just the most delightful thing. You know, she just is very honest, very open, wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's great for the game.
Forehand winner again from Majoli, and using her best weapon for 30-15. A point from 3-all. And Majoli holds at 3-all. A reminder, throughout the NBA Finals, the Bulls lead now 2-1. Our own NBA on NBC analyst Steve Cybersnapper Jones will be analyzing the games live online on NBCSports.com. Join Steve. He'll give you the answers to all your questions. Game 4 tomorrow night on NBC. Oof. 28-8 her record, singles matches as a Grand Slam competitor, winning the Australian Open earlier this year, and was the doubles champion both at Wimbledon last year, and won the doubles with the singles title in Melbourne.
I think she could follow in the footsteps of her namesake Martina, in the sense that she's winning doubles. There's no reason why she can't win mixed doubles. Martina, however, has 55 Grand Slam titles. She has a little ways to go to catch her. Margaret Court was 62.
Now, she lost her doubles yesterday to Gigi, Fernandez and Zvereva. She's partnered with Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. It's her first Grand Slam loss this year. She's 23-1 in Grand Slam matches, singles and doubles, coming into this final.
I think you're going to see here Martina Hingis. This is what makes her great. She's going to switch gears. She's been a little complacent up until this point, but she's going to start to turn it on.
Painted the line.
I think it's tough for her because look at the players that she's beaten. She's beaten some. Anya Kournikova was a real pressure match. The 15-year-old, first time she played someone younger. Arantxa Sanchez-Vicario, that was a huge win for her. Monica Seles, and now she's playing a player that she respects but is not a big name. It's hard for her to get psyched up so far.
And Majoli's big forehand earns her another break point. 7 chances thus far swiped away by Hingis. Is the 8th the charm?
Eva taking her time. She probably has some maybe clay in her eyes at this point. Good time to stall though. Good disguise. I mean, she could have gone cross court or inside out. It's hard to tell the direction of the ball.
She missed it.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Hingis.
Good depth by both players, but Majoli long on this forehand. Well, those 8 break point opportunities for Majoli. That's like an NFL team inside the red zone 8 times and come away without a score. Good news is you're penetrating, you're close to scoring, but come away empty. Is that good or is that bad for Majoli?
I think Eva has the sense that Martina's not on top of her game. She is making a few errors. Ooh.
First double fault.
Mademoiselle Majoli.
Number 9. The break point for Majoli.
You know, her energy level at this point, her enthusiasm looks a little bit low. Eva really needs to jump on her right now.
And she has broken to take the lead. The underdog Majoli, 4-3, opening set.
This is a demonstration. With all the lucent wireless systems and technology out there, this is now just about the only...
The women's championship trophy, the Coupe Suzanne Lenglen, one great French player who won this event 6 times, 4 when it was only for the French, and 2 after 1925 when it became truly an open. And here's the woman who holds the all-time record, 7 championships, men and women, part of the ceremonies prior to the finals match today. The colors of France and the balloons released as they celebrated those able to attend. Past champions, and Chris in the honored position of being the final champion introduced. And one that's not here is Pat Dodge. She's in Rancho Santa Fe, California. She won 50 years ago. Pat told us that she wanted to come to France, but just couldn't take the travel. But she plays every day, plays a solid doubles game yet. I know she's watching.
Oof.
And Majoli with a 4-3 lead.
It's very apropos the 100th year, because this year it's been the women. The women have been the stories, the new faces, the comeback stories, the injuries. It's just been a very interesting women's tournament.
And the depth of the women's game reflected in the fact here's Majoli, the 9th seed, battling with the number 1 and with the lead. In fact, the Wimbledon seeding committee is going to have an interesting choice as to how they seed the All England Championships. Do they put the defending champion Graf, number 1, as the top grass court player?
I think you have to
Hingis?
go with the Corel WTA ranking, and Wimbledon's been pretty good about that. But Steffi's won it 7 times. I cannot see. She won it 7 times, but she also is ranked number 3 in the world right now.
30 love from Majoli.
I mean, there's no question that Martina Hingis will be seeded 1, that's for sure.
The question is, will Graf be seeded 2 ahead of Monica Seles, who is now the number 2 after her play here in France? Majoli, by the way, with her terrific performance in this championship, has moved to number 5 in the world. Big serve. Caught the line for 40 love.
Dick, I have to say, most of the time they do go with the Corel WTA ranking, but I have to agree with you in the fact that I would be very surprised if Steffi Graf was seeded 3 in that tournament. Because also, not only she's dominated, but Monica has really done nothing at Wimbledon on the grass.
Majoli, a very impressive service game, finishes with an ace as she holds it love and a 5-3 lead. There's her Grand Slam record, going for a big number 30 against Hingis today. Her best previous Grand Slam effort, quarterfinals here the last 2 years.
Well, this is the first time I saw her. 93 French Open, playing Steffi Graf on court number 1. She lost 7-6, 6-4, but everybody was talking about her.
Hingis showing a little anger with a double fault, her second. Not the wind that we've seen in the fortnight in Paris, primarily coming from the far court toward Majoli. Today, the wind more out of the south, and that took that lob long.
See what she does here with this weak second serve. A good opportunity to go for a win right from the start.
Showing some true accuracy.
And finally, Eva coming into the net. That was such a great shot to follow it into the net. And when Martina Hingis gets down, she goes to another level, but sometimes when she misses the ball, it does look like she's tanking.
Hingis to the net.
Very much like her match against Barbara Paulus. She lost. I mean, how many times do you see a number 1 player lose this at 6 love? Not many times. A lot of experts thought she did tank that. Came right back, though, and won the 3rd very easily.
6 love in the 3rd. That's wide for a game point for Hingis, and Majoli still just 2 points from the set.
Not her shot.
Mademoiselle Majoli mène 5-4.
5-4 Majoli. She'll be serving for the opening set. But after we pause for this break. First, time for a tennis tip.
Tennis tips presented by Visa.
Our subject today, the two-handed backhand. What better, teacher, than Chris Everett?
Well, the benefits of the two-handed backhand are pretty obvious in that you get more power, more accuracy, and better disguise than with one hand. But you still have to think of technique. So it's important to hit through the ball, extending out towards your target, low to high. That will put the necessary topspin to keep the ball in the court. Remember to keep the stroke compact, watch the ball, and go for your target. And this stroke can certainly be your best weapon.
He won.
She went to the quarters the last 2 years, and 2 years ago, while her opponent took a bathroom break, she said, well, I'm not going to just sit here, and invited a ball boy to hit up with her. And this really won the favor of the French fans, and many of them have not forgotten.
The crowd went nuts. Her opponent was Mary Pierce at that time. So the crowd, really, the loyalty switched. As soon as Mary came back, she's saying, hey, where are my people? They're not rooting for me anymore. She didn't know what happened. Eva went on to win this match. It was an upset. That's the best French Open she's had.
The match over the ball boy or over Mary Pierce?
She beat Mary Pierce.
She won them both, huh? So she serves for the set. And opens with an ace. Her second. Well, she has been the better player in this opening set.
The juices aren't flowing yet with Martina Hingis. I'm still anticipating her really raising her game to another level like she showed us so many times this week. Ooh.
30 love.
You know, and I really don't think Eva fears Martina Hingis. I think if she's going to fear anything, it's being in the final of a Grand Slam event. As you see, Nick Bollettieri, who's helped her so much with inspiration. Her brother, Drago. Just feathers this ball, just threads the needle, and with such soft hands, good touch, and that's really showing the finesse that we talk so much about.
30-15. And Wind will take that for 30-all.
Really
2 points critical here. Bad. 2 to win the set, 2 to break and draw even.
It's a bad mistake, too. I mean, you don't hit a shot like that when you have a chance to win the first set in a Grand Slam final.
There's a late call, but a proper one.
Once again, had so many opportunities to come to the net, and if you don't like to volley, at least come in and hit a swinging volley. She was very lucky to win this point because, boy, she had so many opportunities earlier.
We talked about her forehand. Her backhand earned her court position and had Hingis on the run in that point and the first set point. Eva Majoli, the number 9 seed, 6-4 in the opening set. Well, this 97 French Open Championship has been one certainly of upsets, surprises, underdogs, especially in the men's side. Is it epidemic carrying over to the women's final? Majoli has the set 6-4. Hingis serves to open the second.
Mistimed that ball by yards. The smile's gone right now. And that's an example, really, what Eva needs to do when she has Martina off guard or out of the court. That area of Martina Hingis' game is much superior. Almost looks lackadaisical when she hits it. A desperation shot when you're behind the baseline like that. Not a high percent shot at all, but it worked for her. Getting her off the court, showing a little finesse herself. Not really known as a finesse player, mainly a power player, so this is not in her usual repertoire of shots.
It's long and a break point to open the second set for Majoli. Oh, she is stretching the #1 player sideline to sideline.
Nothing seems to be working for her right now. Oh, that would have been a great shot. Weak second serve, go for the winner, be up set in 1-love. She would have been in a great position.
And another breaker.
Technically a little shaky on that forehand side this whole tournament. When she hits it late, she catches it late, she has an open stance. Not good technical stroke.
A couple of second serves with a break point on a racket, and Majoli unable to get the ball in play. And the coaching staff in that front row.
It's okay, Nick said. It's okay.
Court's open.
Ooh, that was a close one.
Hits the line.
That was a very close one. Pretty flat forehand. Doesn't have a lot of topspin on this shot. How many chances is Martina Hingis going to give her this game?
At this point, each woman with 20 unforced errors.
Mademoiselle Hingis.
Yeah, Majoli certainly has gotten through the nerves portion of this final and striking the ball convincingly from both wings.
But this is an inexperienced game because she's been a little sloppy this game, and every player knows how important the first game in a set is.
And Hingis holds. Majoli had 3 more chances to break. And Eva Majoli owns the opening set.
Dateline Monday, the All-American son. He discovered a powerful drug that more and more kids are using.
When did he cross over the line between smoking and actually shooting it?
Could it happen to your children?
If you are concerned that they're doing something that's going to hurt them, talk about it.
A story every parent should see. Dateline NBC, now on Monday.
Well, same amount of unforced errors, but winners, you know, Majoli's 2 ahead, but that shows the evenness of the match. Break chances, wow, 1 in 9.
Now 1 in 12 after 3 chances to open the second set. Love 1.
S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts? Merci. S'il vous plaît.
Not a great volley, but very effective, and she needs to force herself to come in.
15-0.
Technically not a sound volley, but even if she swings at it like a ground stroke, I think she can win the point.
Another good serve placement.
Martina Hingis has shown us in the past that when she is losing, that she does go to plan B. She can be flexible. Let's see if she does that here. She's done it in every other match. Really getting her off the court. A sharp angle there, opening up the whole court. Service game for Eva Majoli. 1-1 in the second. Well, it's game 4, the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow night. NBA Showtime starts things at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. And Karl Malone and the Jazz host Michael Jordan and the Bulls in Salt Lake City. It all starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific here on NBC. 1 o'clock Paris time. 1 to 4. You just kind of take a little nap and then after the men's final tomorrow and catch game 4. Now this time Hingis dictating the point.
15-0.
Very much a pattern. Who's ever dictating the point 90% of the time wins that point. So it's almost like from the first shot you have to be aggressive. She has a chance at another second serve here. Really moving the ball around the court beautifully. We expect Martina Hingis to be doing that. Martina on the defensive.
This match remindful 4 years ago when a similar underdog, Mary Jo Fernandez, won the opening set against Steffi Graf, putting pressure on Graf, who then went on to win 6-2, 6-4. And the pressure now seems to be building against Hingis.
This is very much a mental match for Martina Hingis. There's nothing technically wrong with her game so far. It's just, I think she just had such an emotional match against Monica Seles. That was the biggest win that she's had in a Grand Slam event this year. As Monica had won this tournament 3 times. And now to come out here 2 days later and to play against a player that she doesn't have as much respect for her, it's tough. Martina doesn't have power? What is that? Thank you to playing doubles a lot, because she gets a lot of practice on the overheads, the volleys, serving and coming to the net. It's really helped her to become an all-court player.
Well, she's shown that backhand is a good friend for her today. Not many mistakes, and she's created some big winners. Double fault to deuce, her third.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Hingis.
If she's going to win this tournament, she has to be making those shots. Those are the easiest shots in the whole match, those second serves.
So Hingis holds its 2-1 in the second. The 9th seed, Eva Majoli, won the opening set 6-4. Quiet, please.
White Perrier, the Earth's first soft drink. Nothing else feels so Perrier. By Lucent Technologies, we make the things that make communications work. By the Principal Financial Group, for over a century, your edge in retirement, insurance, and investment products. And by the new Steel, feel the strength.
On serve in the second here in Paris, with Majoli winning the opening set 6-4, while Hingis confident, if not cocky, before the match today. Majoli, as so many, has a high regard for her #1 opponent.
I still can't believe I'm in the finals. You know, it's always been my favorite tournament. I've been always watching on TV since I was little, and I said, oh, maybe one day I play in the finals, you know, and my dream came true, I guess.
Dream has come true, and you could hear her breathing. She's been battling a virus all this week as well, and has served very well. Only 8 points lost on serve in the match.
Well, it's great that she just didn't walk out on the court, just happy to be there, you know, reach the finals and no expectations. I mean, it looks to me like she really believes that she can win this match, and very few people in the crowd are believers.
Yeah, she hasn't given Hingis any hope yet of a break point.
Martina, you can see it in her face. She's trying to figure out, what can I do? What can I change in my game? Why am I losing?
But you've pointed out before, that's one of her strengths. She will adjust. She will change her strategy.
Well, she'll start playing more aggressively, and we'll be seeing a little more variety. Drop shots, coming to the net.
Can't do that, though.
That's the weaker side, though, that forehand side. She tried to run around that backhand, got a little too close and hit the ball a little too flat. One of the first times we've seen her off balance. And I think she sees that as soon as she sees Majoli off the court or on the run, Majoli's now starting to spray a few balls. It has to be encouraging for Martina Hingis to see that. Both players using the whole court. Martina Hingis once again trying that drop shot too far back behind the baseline. It's a good play, but you really should be inside the baseline to hit that shot.
And a point for 2-all for Eva Majoli. Two games all in the second set. And we talked about the youth of Martina Hingis, the #1 player in the world, women 16 and under. Lottie Dodd, back when it was just a little local championship in the village of Wimbledon in '87, the youngest ever singles. Hingis with her win in Australia earlier this year, the youngest of this century when truly open play. So.
Well, the last two, Tracy and Maureen, their careers were really cut short by injuries. And Maureen Conley, her career ended by, guess what, being thrown off a horse. How apropos.
And Hingis very fortunate that her injury was not more serious.
Monka Seles was the next name on that list. And thank heaven she's come back after her stabbing.
Fourth double fault for Hingis. And Eva Majoli continues her high level of play. Low 30.
Big question, though. Can she keep it up? She just has to play the ball, forget where she is, forget who she's playing, and just play some tennis.
She seems to be doing just that. A little unlucky on that net cord. She had that headed for a possible winner.
Martina Hingis, on the other hand, still not pumped up. She has to get herself out of this rut. Champions win matches even when they're not playing well, and we'll see if that's the case here.
Seizing every opportunity, and two more break points.
Very reliable forehand. I mean, we always know that that's her best shot. She hits more winners, but she's made very few errors on that side. Martina Hingis loves pace, so if you're going to hit hard to her, at least move her out of her power zone, move her off the court. But anything right to her, she loves it, she craves it.
13th break point opportunity for Majoli. Broken to take the lead in the second set. Up a set, up a break. Is this the end of the incredible run for the #1 player, Martina Hingis? The championship is Majoli's if she can hold.
Who cares what they say about such and such? What if it isn't true about...
And at this critical juncture, Martina Hingis elected to take a bathroom break, and the derisive whistles aimed at her from the French fans. Eva Majoli with a set lead and now up a break. 3-2 serving in the second. And let's look at 12 forehand winners and 8 backhand winners, Chris. And I think that backhand success has surprised her opponent.
Well, she hits more winners off her forehand. I mean, once she sets up, her feet are in position, it's really a hard shot to read. But to have backhand winners as well, it's hard to get a ball past her the way she's playing this match. And it's easy to say that Martina Hingis should be hitting more drop shots, but Majoli's been hitting with such depth, it's really hard to get a play on a drop shot. But any mid-court ball, I think you're going to be seeing more drop shots, and you're going to be seeing a more aggressive Martina Hingis. But you have to choose the right shot to drop shot. And that one was a little bit too high. Again, it's behind the baseline, which is really not smart tennis, but this ball was so high she had to play to put that ball away. But she moves well. I mean, she's not a sprinter like a Steffi Graf, but she does move pretty well.
Oof. Her second double fault.
Well, that's the first stroke that will go off. It's interesting to watch as Martina Hingis threw her racket at that point.
That's a warning given by cheer umpire Francois Perot. Hingis unhappy with herself. She nets his forehand.
She meant to bounce that racket, but it flew behind her. Oh, yeah. Just not a usual sight to see Martina Hingis just struggling, running side to side, being pulled from corner to corners.
Eva Majoli will not relent, fighting through each point, keeping her favorite opponent on the run. A 4-2 lead in the second. One of the interested spectators, the president of the International Olympic Committee, Juan Antonio Samaran, up from Barcelona, or from Switzerland, the IOC headquarters, Geneva. 2 points from the championship, Majoli, and the pressure now all on Hingis.
Majoli is playing, but very often, Dick, you know, when you're match tough and you have a lot of tough matches coming into the final, that can only work in a positive way. And that match with Davenport down a 7-4 love, once she got out of trouble there, I think it just gave her tremendous confidence. And this is really one of the poorest performances I've seen with Martina Hingis. For whatever reason, I hope it's not physical, but she's just very flat and no fire in those eyes today.
Yeah, Majoli has extinguished all that fire. She's just outplayed her opponent and now is only 5 points from the title. 3 more break points. And she breaks Hingis at love and will serve for the French Open title when we return.
Tonight, Dana Carvey's a cop with a case of amnesia.
You want to run that by me again?
He can't remember his phone.
The tremendous run here in 1997 of Martina Hingis is 1 game away from ending, and she now is called on one of the WTA trainers working on that left thigh. But Collins, do you have a report?
Well, I have a report. It's not much help. I just talked to Melanie Hingis. She said she's totally unaware of any problem. When Martina did take a bathroom break, and I'll ask her after the match if there was anything to that. The mother also left, but of course she cannot enter the locker room during. A coach is not allowed to give any advice or have any contact with the player in the locker room, and a break is taken. So it appears that she may have some cramping in her left thighs in that long match, 2 hours and 18 minutes, against Monica Seles in the semifinals. When Martina came off the court, she said she was on the verge of cramps and she didn't want to sit down. She'd really felt punished. That's the left side there, which she's been working out, and it could be a little weakness. I talked to her about the operation. She said she feels no pain, but there's still, when you have surgery, a certain wariness when you come back so quickly. And I don't know if that was in the back of her mind, but she better pull it together now, of course.
And the fans certainly have rallied around Majoli. It began first with the fact that they, like so many of us, love the underdog. 2, when Hingis took a bathroom break a couple of games ago after she was broken and a substantial amount of time, and the fans thought perhaps there was a delay involved there, trying to make the 9th seed Majoli think a bit too much about the lead. And now 2 games later, a trainer's break to attend to that injury, and Majoli unable to sit on her side. She's out taking a few extra warm-up serves.
Well, and we forget, I mean, she had 7 weeks off, so she really couldn't train at that point. And Bud was talking about that long match with Seles. Then she had to come back yesterday and play a doubles match, which she lost 11-9 in the 3rd. Plus she practiced. It's a lot of tennis, for especially after having an injury and being out of the game the last 2 weeks. A lot of tennis, and she's 16 years old.
Yeah, I think there's that was one of the questions coming into Paris. Is she tournament tough, having had some training to make sure that that knee was okay, but not competitive play? And there's a big difference, isn't there?
And I don't think she really in a million years thought her streak would end in a match like this. I mean, I think, you know, against a Monica or a Mary Pierce or someone at that caliber, but Eva is playing unbelievable tennis. She's really risen to the occasion. No nerves at all.
Well, I would imagine, unless they're practicing, the Bulls' Tony Kukoc, Croatian, Dino Radja, Goran Ivanisevic, the young 15-year-old Irjana Lucic, all from Croatia, rooting for this woman to become the first ever Grand Slam winner from that country. One of the few wild forehands of the day.
Well, if Eva could use her head right now, you know, her tactic really should just stay out there, hit a lot of balls, and move Martina side to side. I mean, unfortunately, now everyone knows, as broadcasted, that, you know, she does have an injury, and it's hampering her movement. And it really must be hurting after a shot like that. That is not characteristically a normal shot for Martina Hingis. It really must be hurting.
And 2 points from victory is Eva Majoli.
This is the same injury she had at the Chase Manhattan Championships against Steffi Graf. Lost 5 sets, but she cramped in that match, too.
And now match point for Majoli. And what an amazing development. The Terre Battue has been the home of the underdog and the big surprises this year.
S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts, merci.
Majoli serving now with a championship on her racket.
Ooh.
1 match point denied.
43.
Anything in her power zone, she's going to still hit cleanly for a winner. She's going to go for her shots, but make her move a little bit.
Wind blowing some of the clay into the face of Majoli.
Sorry.
Eva Majoli of Croatia is the French Open champion.
6-4,
6-4, 6-2. The second longest shot in the history of this Grand Slam event to win. You have to go back to 1933 when an unseeded player, Margaret Scriven of Great Britain, won it. The second longest shot of all is right there in your picture. Eva Majoli, congratulated by the #1 player, Hingis. Well beaten today. Injury or not, Majoli the superior performer. She lost only 14 points on her serve, did not allow a break point against, as she built an impressive 6-4, 6-2 victory. She now part of French Open history. Two years ago on center court, she hit with a young ball boy, as you saw. Her dreams of winning this, as she has indicated since she was a youngster watching on television, realized 2 years later on this Saturday in Paris. Eva Majoli is the champion. Her coach and brother, Nick Bollettieri, a very strong influence for many years as she trained at his academy in Florida, helped to celebrate, as so many will be stunned who came here 2 weeks ago. Who would have predicted Eva Majoli would be the champion of France? And we'll have a very special presentation of the trophy, as they have asked our partner Chris Evert to make that presentation in this, the 100th anniversary of women's play in the French Open. That's all coming up. Let's first take this break.
Did you see the look on his face?
Hey, here comes another one.
Come to Papa.
Wait, not a Ford Contour. That thing's got more moves than a cat.
What do they think we are? Greyhounds?
Test drive the newly restyled Ford Contour. One drive will surprise you.
Hey, you guys up for a little Italian?
Now get 1.9% APR financing for 48 months.
Eva Majoli, that brilliant smile. How well she played, is the champion of this 97 French Open. Chris Evert presenting her with the Coupe Suzanne Lenglen. Christiane Beam, the president of the French Tennis Federation. Hail to Majoli. Great names accompany this victory. Suzanne Lenglen, Helen Wills Moody, Doris Hart, Mo Connolly, Althea Gibson, Margaret Court, Yvonne Goolagong, Billie Jean, Chris, Martina, Graf, Celis, and now Majoli, the second longest shot ever to win the French Open Championship. And now the runner-up, and she's certainly not accustomed to being cast in this role, Martina Hingis. You know, awkward moment now as to what do we do next? Teenagers, Majoli 19, Hingis 16. Certainly expect to see much more from them in the major events in the years to come. How wonderful it is in sport that you can't predict. Great writer Red Smith once said and wrote in 3 words paragraphs when he said, "Truth strangles fiction." And we've seen it again. Sometimes you just can't write scripts this good. A shocking upset engineered by Eva Majoli. And we'll get the reaction of both players when we return.
The new Porsche Boxster is assembled at Zuffenhausen, Germany. Much the same way our original roadsters, the Spiders, were assembled. By human hands. Makes you wonder who builds other sports cars. The Boxster. Once again, there is no substitute.
This is my idea of a challenge. So when I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, that's what I thought I was getting into. What I got was a sure thing. High endurance deodorant. It evaporates less quickly than the leading stick. It also lasts longer and protects better. Old Spice even guarantees it. Or call 1-800.
And Eva Majoli has ended Martina Hingis' string. The #1 player is with Bud Collins.
Thanks, Dick. Martina, nobody goes a whole season undefeated. Your namesake, Martina Navratilova, lost her only match in 1983 on this court. But you've had a wonderful season thus far, 40-1. You took a bathroom break. You took an injury timeout. Were you hurt?
No, I mean, it's just 2 weeks long, this tournament, and I'm kind of at the end of my power, and just Eva, she just let me run all the time, and I just got a little tired to the end, but I mean, she just played an unbelievable match. It wasn't just because I was injured or something. She just played a great match.
What did she do that bothered you? Was it the backhand?
No, she just played without any mistakes. She just let me run all the time, and she played very aggressive. She served a lot better than me, and she just really at this tournament, she's a champ.
Well, thank you. We'll be seeing you at Wimbledon. Martina Hingis, still #1. And where is Eva Majoli? Here she comes right now, I think. She's working her way over with Rachel Gerstein. And well, when you're champion, you can do anything you want. I thought we had her in our clutches, and suddenly she saw somebody else. Here she comes now. She wants to put on a warm-up jacket. The only Croatian champion, Dobro. Eva Majoli. They will write tomorrow. This was a big upset, the biggest upset of the Open era here. Was it an upset to you?
Well, I didn't think about it this way. You know, I really had a great tournament. I came to this final with a lot of confidence, and I knew Martina hasn't lost a match this year, so. But I also knew that was more pressure on her to win this one than on me, and I think today I just didn't give her a chance to play her game. I was really aggressive. I came to the net, I hit hard, you know, I was really focusing hard, and I think it was really big for me that I didn't think that this was the final of French Open, that I had a chance to win. I was really concentrating on each point, you know, playing point at a time till the end, and I think that's what helped.
You came off this court after that 2-hour and 22-minute victory over Amanda Kutcher. Your first words were, "I'm dead." You've revived.
Well, today I'm ready to party, so I'm not dead. And I'm not in a state, so I can party here. Either I'm not 21.
Was there a strategy? You seem to be working on her forehand a lot.
Well, it was my plan. You know, her backhand is really the best shot, and I think the best in a game. So my plan was just to keep her moving and put pressure on her serve, on her forehand especially, and be aggressive, play lots of forehand from myself, and try to serve, you know, concentrate on my serve. And today everything just worked, you know, I guess because this was my dream. This is the best tournament for me, always been the most special Grand Slam, and I guess, you know, God helped me a little bit today, and I just played a great match.
A great triumph for you and Croatia. Congratulations, your champion, Eva Majoli. Voila.
Ice the French champagne. She's ready to party tonight. Eva Majoli is the 1997 French Open champion, and is this going to be a continuation tomorrow of the underdogs winning a Grand Slam? Gustavo Kuerten, only number 66 in the world, will meet former champion Sergi Bruguera for the men's championship. A preview coming up.